Hi, I'm Mayor J. Tibshraeny, and welcome to this edition of Chandler Inside and Out. Today we're going to talk about downtown Chandler, specifically two fairly new small businesses that have located in our downtown. And so I'm going to talk to Peixoto Coffee, and later in the program we're going to talk about ice creams Sammie's. So again, thanks for being with us. So our first guest is Julia Pexioto-Peters, owner of Peixoto Coffee. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Mayor.
Well, great. I think what we'll do is talk a little bit about your roots, and you came from Brazil and that kind of thing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you came from, how you got in the coffee business, and what have you?
Sure. I grew up in Brazil. I was born and raised in Brazil in a family of coffee growers. My family comes with at least 3 generations prior to mine of coffee growers, at least 150 years of coffee tradition in growing coffee. And I grew up watching my family, my relatives, my father, my grandfather, going through the ups and downs of the coffee market, of the commodity coffee market. And it never made too much sense to me to see that when you buy a car, you pay the price equivalent to the car's quality. When you buy coffee, you're at the mercy of the market conditions. So never occurred to me the reasoning behind that, but I just knew that there could be a better way. So fast forward 30 something years, I moved to the US to go to school. I did a master's program at the U of A. I secured myself a corporate job, and it only occurred to me after my grandfather passed away that my father was the last one in our family still growing coffee. That throughout the ups and downs, a lot of our relatives just gave up from this very risky business that is growing coffee. So I realized that it was upon me to do something to carry the family's legacy forward in coffee. So Peixoto Coffee here in downtown Chandler is my attempt to perpetuate my family's legacy in coffee.
And it's interesting. We're going to talk about Chandler, but I want to ask you, what kind of climate do you need to have to grow coffee? Because you're importing the coffee from your father's farm still, right?
Correct, yes.
So I assume you can't grow it in a desert climate.
No, you can. So you need a specific climate as well as altitude in order to grow coffee. You need well-defined rainy seasons in order to grow coffee, as well as dry seasons in order to grow coffee. So I joke that you really need the perfect storm in order to grow coffee. You need a very rich microclimate in order to support the agriculture of coffee. So in Brazil, we are on the southeast of Brazil, in the state of Minas Gerais, at about 1,300 meters in elevation above sea level, and we have a very well-defined rainy seasons during the coffee granulation process, and then we have a dry season during the harvest process, which is very it's a blessing for us to be able to grow coffee in Brazil.
And for our folks in the audience to get their bearings, that country is in eastern Brazil. As we're filming, we're about a week or so away from the Olympics, which is in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, which I assume is on the west side of Brazil.
No, it's also on the east side of Brazil. Both Rio, the state of Minas Gerais, where we are both on the southeast of Brazil. But Brazil is a very vast country. It's as large as the continental United States.
Wow.
So from where we are, where our farm is, to Rio, it's about 1,200 kilometers.
So what body of water does Brazil front? Is it the Pacific or
the Atlantic?
It's the Atlantic. Okay, so
yes,
you're on. Okay.
It's the Atlantic. We're not on the coast. Our farm is inland.
Right.
So you need tropical weather, but not you can't be at sea level. So you need mountainous terrain as well. You need the altitude. You need the changing seasons in order to grow high quality coffee.
Well, we're glad you're growing high quality coffee and bringing it to Chandler. How did you decide I'm going to locate in Chandler, downtown Chandler?
So this happened before Peixoto Coffee. My husband, myself, and my children, we chose Chandler to be our city of residence because of its diversity, because of the jobs that Chandler offers to its residents, because of the proximity to freeways. When we decided to open the business, we chose Chandler, not only Chandler, but downtown Chandler, because this was our community already. I grew up in a small town in Brazil with a city center, with a main square where everyone congregated. And I wanted my children to grow up in that same environment with, business owners, knowing them by name and knowing who they are. So that's why we chose downtown Chandler for our business. We wanted character, historical character. We didn't want to end up in a cookie cutter strip mall type of location. So we looked long and hard for the perfect spot to represent the craft nature of our business.
I think you made a good decision, and I hear you. It kind of sounds to me, and I heard you talk when you won your award at the Downtown Chandler Community Partnership, that it kind of reminded you of your childhood and kind of that town square and family-friendly, small town type of feel, even though Chandler's a very big town now.
It's a big town, but it has that small town feel. Specifically, if you're here in downtown Chandler, my children go to Sammie's ice cream shop, and the owners know who they are, so they ask for the local businesses that they're growing up familiar with here.
Great. You've been here a little over a year now. How has your business grown in that time? And why don't you give the address of your business? I know it's in downtown Chandler, but for those watching, what is the address?
We're located at 11 West Boston Street, which is a tricky address. It's Boston Street, but we actually face Arizona Avenue. We're right on the corner of Arizona Avenue and Boston, 2 stores down from the bridal store. So there's a bridal store in the corner. We're just 2 doors down. South.
You're right across from City Hall. Almost.
Right across from City Hall. We're neighbors.
Good. You're a good neighbor. So
Thank
how's
you.
business going for you?
It's going really well. So when we opened our business, we could only dream to have this kind of acceptance in our marketplace for our family coffee. We wanted our coffee to be well received, but at that point it was just a dream. So to see this materialize and people be talking about us on media, on the streets, and be coming back for a coffee is exactly how we envisioned it would happen. So business is going well. We started with 5 employees. We now have 12. Our first year we imported 100 bags of coffee, not exactly knowing how much consumption we would have. When we received our second container of coffee, we were down to the last bag of coffee that we brought from our family farm. So,
wow.
So the second year we brought a full container, which is almost three times what we brought the first year.
How big is a container?
It's 20 feet by 40 feet, and we have 320 bags of coffee. Each bag is 132 pounds of coffee.
Wow.
So it's a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
And we use that coffee for our own consumption as well as to distribute to other businesses.
So I became aware of you when I went to the awards breakfast for the Downtown Chandler Community Partnership, and your company won the Chandler Downtown Business of the Year. How did that feel, and what did you? How can you express what you felt when you got that award?
It was a great honor to be recognized by our fellow merchants and city representatives after such a short period of time, 1.5 years after opening our doors for the first time, without knowing much about business and how our coffee was going to succeed here in this community. Receiving that award was really the cherry on top. Yeah. It felt pretty amazing to get that recognition at such early stages of our business life here in Chandler. So thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. We're very honored.
So you're not a traditional coffee shop. What kind of coffees do you serve?
So our main product is our family-grown coffee. I would say that 90% of the coffee that we serve at our shop, as well as we wholesale to our clients comes from our family farm, and we are a specialty coffee shop as opposed to a commodity commercial coffee shop. We like to believe that, you know, we sell coffee of a higher quality to our patrons, and the way to really try coffee is to drink coffee in its purest form. So the specialty coffee movement really promotes drinking coffee without sugar, without cream, and tasting the nuance and
Right.
flavors of the coffee beverage. Coffee is a complex agricultural product that has the ability to carry a lot of intense flavors in it if you're only willing to try by itself. But we also cater to the masses, and a lot of people want sugar, they want, you know, cream or some other specialty products.
Artificial sweetener?
Artificial sweeteners. We don't have artificial sweeteners. So
I'll
to
bring
the
my
extent
own.
that we offer add-ons to our coffee, we try to stay true to the quality of our coffee. So when we offer mochas, we use real chocolate, Belgium chocolate that we melt in espresso. When we use vanilla syrup, we scrape vanilla beans and make our own syrup from Madagascar vanilla. So we try to stay true to the quality of our coffee to the extent that we add anything to it. We have something for everyone. We have espresso beverage, we have pour overs, that's, you know, traditional black coffee being made to order. We have cold brewed coffee. We won Best of Phoenix by Phoenix New Times award last year for the best cold brew in the Valley. We have nitro coffee. Some of you here, I hear, are quite fond of our nitro coffee, which is cold brewed coffee infused with nitrogen. Gives that Guinness effect to your coffee. And we also have specials, so we change our specials with the seasons. Right now we have our summer menu, which is very rich in tropical flavors.
Yeah, really outstanding stuff. We got about 2 minutes left, so I'm just gonna ask you maybe, what does the future hold for Peixoto Coffee? Because you're selling your coffee in the Valley now at different places. So what do you see in the future?
We do, as I mentioned before, we bring a lot more coffee than we can consume ourselves at our shop. So we plan to expand by offering our coffee, our roasted coffee, to like-minded businesses who appreciate the quality of our coffee. We have wholesale customers that range from large IT companies here in the Chandler area all the way to small coffee shops and restaurants that want to offer a higher quality coffee to their customers.
Well, you've made quite an impact in Chandler since you're located here, and we're looking for many more great things from you. It's a good place to go and get a little caffeine. So thanks for having confidence in downtown Chandler, and thanks for telling our citizens a little bit more about you and your company today.
Can't think of a better place to have my business than downtown Chandler.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
We're going to take a quick little break, and then I'll be back with the folks from Ice Cream Sammie's as we talk about small businesses in downtown Chandler. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for being with us today. We're talking about small businesses in downtown Chandler. You just heard from Peixoto Coffee. Now we're going to be talking to the two ladies that are involved with Ice Cream Sammie's. Ice Cream Sammie's. We have Jamie Votaw and Ariana Cooper.
Hi.
Thank both of you for being here today.
Thank you.
I guess, Jamie, we want to start out with, what is a Sammie?
Okay, well, a Sammie is an ice cream sandwich, but our spin on it is homemade ice cream in the middle with 2 homemade cookies on either
Wow.
side. Yes,
Sounds pretty good.
it's really good.
Yeah, especially this time of year.
Perfect.
Okay. Jamie, you're one of downtown Chandler's newest businesses. When did you open, and give us your location?
So we opened up in March the 16th, and we are on Boston. We're kind of near the end of Boston where a lot of new redevelopment's going on. Our address is 135 West Boston.
Good, good. There's a lot going on in that area right now, isn't there?
There is.
So how did you and your partners come about starting Sammie's?
Well, both of us are soccer moms, and we tend to wind up traveling with our kids a lot together.
Right? Yeah.
So we're kind of an extended family in a sense. And one summer, we happened to be on a camp weekend with each other, with our boys, and we came into a place for dessert, and they did something similar to this. And we thought, I think we can do that better. I think we
Wow.
can do something more homemade, more authentic.
Yeah.
And I think the entire plane ride home back to Chandler, that's all we talked about the entire time. How could we do it? What would we name it? What are the flavors we would offer?
Oh,
And we were just so excited. We talked the entire time. And then, of course, I came home and convinced my spouse that that was a good idea. And I think Ariana did too. And so that kind of started our journey.
well, that's a good story. So you guys met as soccer moms.
Yes.
Yep.
Our
Had
sons
it-
play soccer together.
Had an idea
Mm-hmm.
and opened up a small business in Chandler.
Yes.
What made you say, hey, we want to go to downtown Chandler?
We decided downtown Chandler because this is where both of our families reside in Chandler. We each have 3 children, so who love ice cream. But we thought it would be nice just to establish ourselves in the community too. And we thought
Yeah.
downtown Chandler was perfect. And I grew up in a small town in upstate New York with a main street and, walking down to get ice cream. And so
Yeah.
it seemed like a really good fit.
Really, I grew up, I'm a native of Chandler, and I remember walking down to this downtown to the drugstore to get an ice cream float or an ice cream sundae or something. So, yeah, I have a lot of memories too that fall right in line with what Sammie's is now doing for the current generation.
Mhm.
So, I hear when you first opened, it was kind of an eventful time. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's kind of funny because we originally anticipated it just barely paying the rent and just going along with bare basics. We didn't really think we'd have a very big reception. And we opened our doors and we had a lot of people come in. And then they just kept coming day after day. And to the point where the first week, I think almost every night we were at the shop till 2 a.m. making more product. We never thought it would be so well received. And we
Yeah.
just kept making more and more. And I think at week 2, we said, we probably should get a better schedule because this isn't going away anytime soon. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
So, Ariana, it sounds like it just took off and boom, right
It
away.
went from 0 to 100 in like 2 days. There was actually one funny story is the first Friday night we were open, Jamie's husband, Joel, said, just go out, get something to eat with the kids. We just literally went to downtown Chandler. We went to 2 separate restaurants. I went with my kiddos. Jamie went with her kiddos. And like an hour into it, Joel calls us and is like texting, like the line's out the door, the ovens are beeping. Like it's absolute mayhem in here.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, sounds good. I hear you take special orders for some of Chandler's largest employers. Talk a little bit about those special orders and what goes into them, either one of you.
We have done some pretty big catering orders for some of the local Chandler businesses. Actually, one of them came 2 weeks after we opened our doors. They emailed us for 450 cookie sandwiches that they needed for their employees. It was high tax time.
Uh-huh.
And so they wanted to kind of treat the employees that were putting in the extra hours. So they called us and said, can you do 450 Sammies? And we said, of course, absolutely.
That's a lot of sandwiches.
That's a lot, especially if you double the amount of cookies. So you're at over, you had to think of breaking cookies. So you're at over 1,000 cookies that we had to bake
Wow.
that morning. And we did it. We had Jamie's mom came in to help us. But yeah, we started baking cookies at 6 o'clock in the morning to get them all packed up and ready to go.
So how does that work? You make them, you probably have a freezer there. That's a lot of cook. How do you then transport them? Because it's 113 as we're filming this show.
Right, so the cookies, we just bake them and then we store them in airtight containers. And so you're getting fresh cookies whenever you come into our shop. The ice cream, we made a couple days in advance because there's a huge long process to
Right.
making our ice cream. we do it unlike most places do ice cream, where everything that we do is 100% scratch made.
Right.
We actually have our ag license
Oh.
so that we can make our own ice cream base, which is
Yeah.
not as normal as everybody else does. But yes, we had to make that a couple days in advance, and then we took it over and served 450 sandwiches. And after that, we were like, okay, we have some things we need to change for the next time. And literally, we got
Yeah.
another order for 450 cookie sandwiches within like
So you've got
3
a
weeks.
system down to where you can now transport all that ice cream. It's one thing transporting the cookie. It's
Yeah, the ice cream,
another-
we've got it. We're down pat now. We've got it.
Good, 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 good. So again, downtown Chandler, how's it been with some of the other local merchants? You all getting along and they're happy with you and you're happy with them, I assume?
Yeah, Peixoto. We love Peixoto.
Yeah.
They pop in all the time.
Cool.
And we pop in over there. We have actually, Crust was another local merchant that we kind of reached out to, especially with all the festivals that have been going on in downtown Chandler during the spring season. It was kind of funny because the employees from our location and their location would kind of go back and forth with each other and just like, hey, we'll bring you Sammie's, and hey, we'll bring you pizza on your busy night. So it's been nice.
And Ariana, talk a little bit about your menu and what some of the favorites are.
We have, I think right now we have about 18 to 20 ice creams that we make. We only can fit 16 in our case, so if you walk in and you don't see it in there, just ask one of the people working, because more than likely we have it in the back of, in our big freezer. We have 7 different kinds of cookies right
7
now.
cookies right now.
Wow.
And we've got some interesting ice cream flavors. We have Fruity Loops, which is Fruit Loop cereal with vanilla ice cream mixed together. So it's kind of, it's one of Jamie's recipes, and it's kind of like cereal milk, which is delicious. Cake batter is one of our top ice creams out there. If you're a little not into the cake batter, our cookie butter ice cream gets rave reviews, as does our salted caramel ice cream, which Jamie even makes the caramel from scratch.
What are your hours? I got to let everybody know because
Yes.
they're all getting hungry listening to you.
We open at 11 in the morning, and different times of the week we close at different times. Monday through Thursday we're open till 9, and on the weekends we're open till 10.
Good. You're going to have a lot of people streaming there now. You're
Yes.
already crowded.
We hope so.
I want to talk a little bit. You've got a gluten-free product. How'd that come about, and how does that work?
Yeah, so all of our most of our ice creams right now are gluten-free. The reason why we're able to get to that process is because, like Ariana talked about, we process our ice cream a little bit differently. Most ice cream shops, even if they say they make it in-house, they actually import in a mix that's pre-made somewhere else in the country. And then they just dump it in their machine and they pull the ice cream. Well, we have our agriculture license, and we're licensed through the state to be a dairy processor. So we take not necessarily raw milk, but we can take raw milk if needed. But we re-pasteurize all the milk, we create our own base. And for that, our shelf life is a lot smaller, but we go through it so fast. We don't have to put in different products and different stabilizers and things that you normally wouldn't have in your kitchen into our ice cream. So we're able to control those things. So most all of our ice cream is gluten-free just because we don't need those things.
So it sounds like you had to get some special licensing from the state, which I just assumed you could do that, but to be able to do your processes, you had to have the agricultural end of this thing?
Yeah, and I think we're one of the only ice cream manufacturers in the state that currently does that right now.
Yeah.
We actually, Ariana and I also went to Penn State, and we took some extra courses on different ice cream production.
Really?
And so we've got a full background in ice cream production, as well as we're licensed through the state to do it.
Do they have some special classes then for,
They do.
you know, for ice cream restaurateurs or
Yeah,
what
they
have
do.
you?
Yep, it's where Ben and Jerry's actually went and learned how to make ice cream. So we thought, well, we might as well follow in their footsteps and make a good product.
How long of course was that? How long did you have to go for?
It was a crash course. It was actually just a weekend. It was, I think, 4 days or 3 days in total. But we were up from sun up to sundown, and it was a crash course. I think we have books this thick that go through everything that we picked up that weekend. So, yeah.
So I know you're a small business. You had to convince your husbands, because they're your partners, obviously, that it was a good idea. And do you have other partners involved, or is it strictly your families?
It's just us. It's actually myself. My husband has another job, but Jamie and Joel, and so it's the 3 of us.
Wow.
That pretty much we do everything.
Yeah, and it's it's a major undertaking to start a small business. So
It
because
is.
you got all those startup expenses and what have you. So
Mhm.
my hat's off to you. Where are we going to go in the future with Sammie's?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, I would imagine. Any immediate plans, or not that I'm saying you need to go
No,
open up
you're
another
fine.
facility, but I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Or what do you guys think?
Go for
Yeah,
it.
so
Anyway.
we have been approached. What's funny is when we started, we looked at lots of different places within Chandler and really didn't get a warm reception from some of the larger landlords. We're a new business and small. We've never had this experience, so they didn't really look overly kindly on us. But so that's why downtown Chandler was such a great fit. But now we've got a whole bunch of landlords knocking on our doors, begging us to come into
Really?
their shopping centers. And so we've been entertaining different landlords throughout the valley, and we've been looking for second and third locations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, exciting. Who's your landlord downtown?
Cheryl Tisland over at Bristol Butterflies, and she's been awesome to work with.
Yeah, good, good. Well, we're real proud of downtown Chandler. I mean, it's kind of a unique feel, all these unique businesses. Your business has been a real instrumental in that, and we think the sky's the limit with you guys. Any parting comments? We got about a minute and a half left. Any final thoughts with you, Ariana?
I don't know if I have any. I'm like,
That's all right.
no, we're happy to be in downtown Chandler. We just love the fact that you can walk down the street and get a homemade cookie ice cream sandwich, or you can just come in. We've got music playing. We've got great employees, and just the reception we've gotten from downtown Chandler has been amazing.
Jamie?
Yeah, I would echo that. The whole city's actually come out. We've had a wonderful Facebook reception with Ocotillo Friends and a whole bunch of other wonderful community groups within Chandler, and they have just put their arms around us and just loved us to pieces. We just have tons of schools in. We recently just signed up to help support all the high schools with their booster programs. So we're trying to make sure that we're reinvesting in Chandler also.
Yeah. I want to thank both of you for your commitment and your perseverance to make your small business a success. And we're very thankful you've chosen downtown Chandler.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today as you learn more about two of our small businesses in downtown Chandler. I hope you'll visit Sammie's and also Peixoto. I also just hope you'll come down to downtown Chandler and experience all of the different venues we have. So again, thanks for being with us today. Until we see you again, take care and be safe.